Agostino Inguscio. You are the coordinator of the UNDP Rome Center for Climate and Energy. Welcome to also the International Advisory Board meeting of Risk for Africa. Pleasure to have you here. I'd love to ask you your takeaway on a few elements. First, we've seen tremendous change happen in the past year. Globally speaking, in the energy sector, the transition is well underway despite a big crisis happening. This has had implications for Africa, of course, as well. And I'd love to hear maybe some of your observations on what really stands out in terms of the impact of that energy crisis on Africa. UNDP does tremendous work in the energy field, in climate resilience as well, through implementation on the ground. What are some of the things that really stood out for you in the past year?
Thank you so much, Anna, and it's a pleasure to be here with you. So in terms of the UNDP offer, what we are moving towards is a much more strategic approach, right? Whereas you said, UNDP is, in a sense, the compass for sustainable development in the African continent, and also all this knowledge we accumulated through the implementation of projects. And now we're moving from a much more project-focused approach to a much more portfolio approach, which is driven, for instance, by the restructuring of UNDP headquarters in hubs. Mm-hmm. So, for instance, now we are guided at the policy level as well as the programmatic level on this transition by a climate hub and a sustainable energy hub. And the challenge that we see for the African continent in this setting is also an opportunity, because the current energy crisis has really, I think, created a powerful acceleration of needs from talk, right, mm-hmm. to action. But how we do this? Well, the approach of UNDP has never changed, right? So we do it in strong partnership with the African governments. So UNDP is present in these countries for the last 60 years, and we are continuing to advising and reinforcing the partnership with governments so that we make sure that the transition that is designed is also coherent with their plans at the national level.
Right, yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I think in terms of accompanying these countries with their plans, making sure that this is tailor-made to their realities, of course, we're seeing here many major new energy scenarios coming out that show tremendous expectation, in fact, on the role of renewables, expecting to multiply by many factors, in fact, in the next years and decades. So real expectation for renewable energy growth across the continent. This is, of course, not a self-fulfilling prophecy, especially when we see the investment numbers today. We need to be turning that around in order to get to those expectations, turn them into a reality. What's your view on how to make sure that we get there?
Well, I think the first point is exactly what you said, right? So we need to look at these numbers honestly, right? We don't have to believe the self-fulfilling prophecy. And I think this is precisely what the UN system did back in 2022 with the UN Energy Conference, that basically shaped a roadmap towards an accelerated achievement of SDG 7, because frankly, we are just not there. And in terms of UNDP, right, our work has really been focused to put in a coherent framework all the work that we're doing to identify what the most important needs are. And so this is the work, as I was saying, of the Sustainable Energy Hub, the Climate Hub, which identified, for instance, the need for system change, but most importantly for the redirection of financial flows and for partnership. And this is why I'm particularly happy to be here with you today, because, for instance, the partnership with organizations such as Renewable Energy for Africa, for us, is absolutely quintessential to achieve these objectives. And I would say that of these signature transformative necessities, the biggest one is the redirection of financial flows. So as you said, Anna, the numbers are not there, they don't add up. And so this is the work that we are leading from the Rome Center in partnership with the Ministry of Environment and Energy Security of Italy, with the Italy UNDP Energy Partnership, which effectively is a solution designed to accompany national governments in designing investment plans that are coherent both to their own developmental objectives and to the objectives of SDG 7, and they can facilitate the access of finance into this system. Because what I see is that I see a lot of finance in numbers, but I also see a lot of difficulties of unlocking this finance for the areas that need it the most. And so I think this is the mandate of the Rome Center and UNDP, right, is to make sure that this finance finds its way to where the transformation is needed.
So a long roadway ahead, but very clear in terms of its direction, systemic change, partnerships, and making sure that the financial flows turn around and reach to where they need to go. Thank you very much, Mr. Inguscio, for your time.